Well, praise the Lord on this Sabbath. I'm coming to you to explain about Tina. And also request prayer for me. I picked up a big heavy pot the other day and kind of hurt my back, and so I've been having some pain, which is okay. I mean, God is taking care of it, but just appreciate your prayer that the pain will go away and I won't do something stupid like that again. But anyway, there were several people asking about Tina and her Social Security disability. Well, I don't know if everyone really understands about the routine of the Social Security disability. Yes, it's been over a year. I would say maybe it's going on really close to year and a half or 2 years now since she first filed for her Social Security disability. Then she got turned down. Which is normal. I mean, really, it is normal. Then we took it to our lawyer, my lawyer, and he's representing her, and he refilled it out again, and he got paperwork, and he was so sure. He says, I think you'll get it now, Tina, without us having to go to court. Well, evidently, they don't think she's sick enough. I mean, she's got 3 stents in her heart. The next time will be an open heart surgery. She can't breathe because she has asthma and lung problems, super bad. So, I mean, and the doctor keeps saying she can't work. He even says that on the paperwork to the Social Security disability people. So we talked to the lawyer, and he's appealing it. So this means that we've got to wait till we get a court docket down in Fort Smith, Arkansas, which is quite a ways from here. So we'll have to drive down there. I'll have to take her down there when she gets a court hearing, which could take another year. For Trish, my other friend that was going through it, it took 2 years before she even could get on the court docket to get before the judge. Plus the waiting time before then. She waited about 3 years then. So in all, it was about 5 years for Trish before she ever got her Social Security disability. My husband, Carl, he's a veteran, and he gets a VA check, but he gets a Social Security disability check. It took him 3 years to get it. Took him 5 years to get his disability check from the VA, continuously going over the same thing, hashing over the same thing. I can't work. I can't work. The doctor says I can't work. I have pain. I can't breathe. You know, it's going over. It's like pounding over and over. And my husband had to go before the judge to get his. So people, just because you file for your Social Security disability don't mean you get your Social Security right away. The government fights you. They fight you if it's Social Security disability. They fight you if it's a VA, veterans. I can understand some with a Social Security disability. They want to make sure that you're disabled. But the VA, we've got boys coming back from overseas that have legs blowed off, that have head trauma. My husband has PTSD. They have PTSD. But it will take sometimes years before the government will finally give in, recognize that these men are women that's been hurt in harm's way for the country, because the country sent them there, to get their disability checks. It's almost like you come home from a war and have to enter another war with the government to get help when you're disabled. So, and yes, I know $900 seems a lot for a water bill for her, but see, what she had always done before, and they were used to it, because her ex never worked. I mean, off and on, here or there. I mean, he never did. He's kind of like a lazy, deadbeat dad. That's what he is. And anyway, Tina would have to go out and try to get churches and people to help her out with things. But how they would do it is that when they filed their income tax, because they usually got probably about $5,000 back. They got 2 kids and themselves and stuff. They usually got that back. So what they would do, they would totally pay up the water bill when they got their income tax back. They totally pay up all the rent when they got their income tax back. And Tina would go for electricity. What she would do, she would go and go to the humane service, and like last year she went to classes for a while just for the humane service to pay all of her electricity. She does everything she can to survive. And so when they file the income tax, you know, she knew that, okay, I'm going to get it back, because that's what the court docket says. You know, in the divorce decree, she got the Social Security check. The SL. The income tax check. That was awarded to her. So she was just, okay, she says, now I've got it made. I can pay my water. I can put some aside for propane when I need it. I can go and pay on the rent. I can get all the bills paid up, and then I'll have a little bit left over. And then she gets a letter in the mail saying that since her ex had not been paying any child support, they were going to take all the money for child support. Because, see, the state pays her a measly $170, something like that, a month to live on. $170. Can you imagine? Knowing that's all you got to pay to live on. That's to buy her pills, her medicine, her heart medicine, all of her medicine. She has to pay for that. I mean, the state pays a little bit, but she has to pay quite a bit more than what people thinks. And then she has to try to buy their needs for the house, you know. The food stamps don't buy laundry soap, dish soap, toilet paper, pads for her daughter for her periods, just, you know, the odd end things that you normally have to buy. She would have to buy out of that check. She had to pay her car insurance out of this measly little check she gets. So by the time she pays everything that she has to pay, because if you don't pay car insurance, you can't drive your car. I mean, you know, that's America for you. So honestly, by the time she gets her check, it's already gone. Already gone. And of course, the water bill would have been paid whenever she got her taxes money. And she called him and she said, "You mean I don't get nothing? I mean, you don't even give me all of his child support if he paid it. And here you're going to take it all, and it's supposed to be for child support, and it's going to go for that $170 that I've been drawing off of the state because I have to pay it back." You know, there's just a lot of things I really don't understand about our laws and things. You know, it's supposed to be to help the woman and the children at home, and it seems like it works against them more so than helping. So I've asked several other women, and they said, "Yeah, oh yeah, the state does that. If they help you any, the minute that they get any money off of your ex-husband, they'll take it because they're paying you for help." And I went, well, I mean, I can understand in a way, but then what are you women are supposed to do on the sideline? How do you survive? And I've had some say, well, sometimes the family will try to help. I go to churches a lot, so whenever they will help, but they've got where it's harder and harder to find churches around here that will help anymore because there's so many people that are hurting and needing help that they run out of money really quick. They don't really have the money to help. So that's the story, the reason why the water bill got up to be $900. And she don't know what to do, being that she's not going to get. So the only reason why I knew was to tell you. And pray that we get to go before the judge quickly and she gets her Social Security disability, and that way I don't have to get on here and ask you guys for help for her anymore. That would be such a blessing. You know, I have a hard time asking for help for me. I mean, it really is. I have a hard time. But for asking for help for other people, I don't mind. Because I take as much money as I can, and I help Tina also. A young lady just sent her $110. Praise the Lord. And she's going to put that on the water bill, praying that that will stave them off, and they will go ahead and work with her until she gets the money one way or another. So I bless that person for sending that money, because she take it and she gave it to the water bill. They're kind of griping because they want it all, and I don't blame them. And all she says, because she won't lie to them and say, well, you have to wait till my Social Security check comes in. She just says, when I get the money, I'll give it to you. And leaves it at that. Because she's scared to death that when they find out that she's not getting a Social Security, her income tax check, they'll come immediately and shut her off. And she don't know what to do. So that's why I come to you and ask. And I think you saw, because some of you have sent to PayPal. And I've got to get it changed over to my bank to get it out and give it to her. But this one person sent her $110 cash in the mail. Wow. I mean, it's wow. When we opened that up, and she just broke down and started crying. And she says, well, at least wise, they will know that I'm trying to get them money. At least wise, they'll know. Tina's not had a good life. She really hasn't. And Mark, her ex-husband, was not a good husband at all. He was very abusive. He didn't like to work. A lot of times I would sneak money to Tina behind Mark's back and not let him know, to help her out to get things that she really needed, you know. Just mere toilet paper sometimes. Bless her heart. That's why I tell women, you know, my first marriage wasn't a good marriage, and he was a child molester. Which I gave him a choice. I said, you know, you need to go into the mental institution and get some help. Because I really didn't believe in divorce and didn't want a divorce. But he didn't want to do that. So he chose to get the divorce. When Mark beat Joyce, Tina's daughter, had Tina up against the wall, choking her out, it finally came to the point she had to call the police. He left, and it ended in divorce. Something she didn't want. But you can't leave somebody that's so abusive to you and your children in your home, because someday, one day, there could have been a death, because he's capable of that. He used to ride with the Hessians motorcycle club or gang or whatever you want to call them. Men that are abusive to women, heavy in drugs and booze. Not a good person, okay? I minister to these type of men. And you do have to walk on eggshells around them. But for some reason, some of them, I got their respect, and they listen to me when I'm ministering to them. But yet, I know what kind of people I am talking to. I know that any minute, if they got mad at me, they could hurt me and never think twice about it. That's what kind of people these people are. But still, you know, Jesus died for them on the cross just the same as he died for us. God loved them, and he sent his own son to die on a cross for all of us, all of us. All the motorcycle people, the mean ones, the very evil, bad ones, all the way to the ones that are laid back and not so evil. Me and Tina has prayed for Mark over and over and over and over. But his heart's just hardened. And if you mention the name of Jesus or Yeshua or God, he'll get in your face quickly. He didn't want her praying in the house. He didn't want her reading the Bible. And she would sneak in the bedroom and read. And if he caught her, he'd come in there and he'd be cussing her out and threatening her and stuff. He was a man with a heart of stone. And we still pray for him, you know, because Jesus did die for him, the same as us. But people, that's why Tina does need your help to keep the water on. And pray that we get before a judge before this year is over, and that she gets her Social Security disability so that this won't happen again, so that she can sort her money out and take care of her needs and her children's needs. She says one thing that even hurts her the most is when she'll see one of her kids really needs something, you know, like a new pair of shoes or something, you know, and there's no money there to really get it with. The first of the year, I went and I bought Wyatt's and Joyce's all their clothes and their shoes and things for school. I felt led to do that because she didn't have the money. And Mark sure wasn't going to give her the money, even though they were his kids. It just blows my mind that a man can say, I love my kids, but never fork out a dime for them. It just blows me away. I mean, you married the woman, you had kids by her, and whenever it falls apart, all of a sudden you think you can walk away and not have to worry. Your responsibility does not end in a divorce. Your responsibility for your children keeps on. Even after they're grown and they have their own jobs, make their own money, but your responsibility as a father to those children is still there. Because you're their father. And they need a good man in their life to listen to. But so many of our children here in the United States don't have that. They don't have those kind of fathers. Probably around the world, I don't know. So, I hope I've answered all the questions about Tina. Why the water bill was $900. I know it don't sound reasonable to you, but they had been doing this for years, even when Mark and her lived together, and it was okay with the water company because they always knew they would get their water. Tina always made sure they always got their money when the check come in. And by Mark not doing what he was supposed to do and court ordered, he's kind of messed a lot of things up. But that's why she needs help. I wished I didn't have to come and ask you for help for her. I really wished I didn't have to ask you at all. I wished Mark was the kind of man that did what he's supposed to do. I wish that the churches here around had lots of leftover money to help people when they are in need. But you know, we are in difficult, hard times. And I even hate to ask you because I'm sure some of you are in very hard, difficult times. This person that sent the $110, I'm so sure they could have used it for something else, for their own needs. But instead they gave it to Tina, and she taken it to the water company and gave it to them. So that means that they only owe, what, $700 and something? $790 or so. But anyway, if you all see fit to help her, okay. If you don't, that's all right too. I will again put my PayPal down and my address. So I hope you all understand. And if you can't afford it, don't. Don't feel like you have to. Don't hurt yourself. But those that can, I ask you, please help. And have a blessed Sabbath. Thank you.